It is officially confirmed a brand new Mega Evolution will be revealed for the Mega Dimension DLC. This reveal is coming tomorrow, and we're going to break down which Mega Evolution it could be, so strap in and let's take a look. If you know anything about me, you know I love me some Mega Evolution, and Cerebi reports that it is confirmed that the new Pokemon Legends ZA Mega Dimension DLC will have news at 14 UTC tomorrow, November 19th. I will be covering it on the channel here, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our Pokemon coverage, including information about the DLC. Pokemon UK had posted this tweet on November 19th. We'll be sharing more information, and they indicate a new Chimecho and the Baxcalibur Mega Evolutions with two new reveals essentially coming alongside that. 1911 or 1119 is going to be a new reveal, and then there's an additional reveal coming after that, and we know this has to be squeezed in between now and December 10th when the DLC actually releases. So the question is, what Mega is going to be revealed tomorrow to go alongside Chimecho and Baxcalibur as new Mega Evolutions coming in the DLC? Well, it just so happens that all of these Mega Evolutions have leaked already, so we can take a look at which ones could potentially be revealed and try to see if we can deduce which one it ultimately will be. So let's take a look. If you guys haven't been keeping up with the news, it was data mined and leaked that a handful of Mega Evolutions are coming in the Mega Dimension DLC. We know about Raichu already, of course, and then, of course, Chimecho getting a brand new Mega Evolution, as well as Baxcalibur being some of the big ones coming to the DLC. But there's a handful of other Pokemon that haven't been announced officially that are getting Megas, so let's talk about those. The first one is Absol. Absol getting a brand new Mega Evolution. This one's pretty wild because it already has a Mega, so it's going to get a second Mega. I think that's a really interesting angle. Charizard and Mewtwo are the two Megas prior that have additional Mega Evolutions, and now we're looking at a handful of other Pokemon, including Absol, that are going to get new forms in general, so I'm very curious to see what they're going to do. A lot of people have speculated that Absol may turn into a Fairy typing. I think that would be really sick. I've seen some thoughts that maybe instead of being a white body, it ends up having a black body and kind of flipping the yin and yang style approach. Also could be very cool. Another new Mega, Staraptor. Staraptor would be insane in my opinion, and I'm very excited to see what they do with this. I'm curious if they add the fighting typing to Staraptor. I think that could be really neat if they decide to go that route. Garchomp getting a brand new Mega Evolution as well. We've seen some thoughts that maybe it becomes like a flying sand shark, a little bit more streamlined, but we'll have to ultimately wait and see. But when you look at the difference between Charizard X and Charizard Y, I think there's a real likelihood that these Megas that are getting new Megas will have a different typing. So rather than remaining, in this case, Ground and Dragon, it's possible it becomes Flying and Dragon, or it becomes Dragon and something else, Steel maybe. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Garchomp. But the next one is very interesting because Lucario getting an additional Mega as well, which may tie into Corinna making an appearance, of course, in the DLC. Kitted out with so many Mega Stones, so many things going on with Corinna. I'm very excited to see what this new Lucario could look like. There's been some discussions about it potentially becoming a Dragon type as well, which could be very, very interesting if Mega Lucario became Dragon type. I would actually be here for that. I'd be very curious if they would go that route. From there, we've got some legendaries getting Mega Evolutions. Heatran and Darkrai, as well as Zeraora, all getting new Mega Evolutions. These have actually been data mined with their stats as well, which we've covered in a separate video, but ultimately looking to be pretty strong. It seems as though none of these are going to get any type changes from what we can gather, but I'm quite excited for those. I do not think that those will be the ones that get revealed. Those feel like they will be special event type Megas that come through, you know, some sort of ranked system like we have right now with Greninja and Delphox and so on and so forth. Golurk is a big one, and Golurk is actually my sneaky pick for the Mega that gets revealed tomorrow. Golurk being Ghost and Ground, there's some thoughts that maybe it becomes Flying type. We know that Golurk has an additional form where it can turn into a cannon. I'm curious if they're going to lean into that a little bit more. But Golurk is my sneaky pick to be the reveal for tomorrow. Then you've got the Meowstics, of course, the male and female Meowstic getting a Mega Evolution. Curious to see what they do with that. This is a Pokemon that maybe doesn't have a ton of love, but I think it is going to tie very much so into the detective from ZA and her team getting stronger. I'm curious what we see there. One of the most surprising Mega Evolutions on this list is probably Crabominable. This is a Pokemon from the Alola region that really hasn't seen much love over the last couple of generations, but Crabominable could end up being a very, very cool Pokemon because of its unique ice and fighting typing. It's incredibly slow, so I can only imagine one way to go with this thing. It gets bulkier and stronger and hits even harder, and is going to be an absolute monster in Trick Room. I think the best thing that could happen to Crabominable is if it loses more speed, so it can actually just gain more stats elsewhere, because defensively its typing isn't that great, but offensively it is a massive powerhouse. They've already revealed a Psychic type. They've already revealed an Ice and Dragon type. That's why I'm thinking they're probably going to go a different typing for this. My second potential pick, aside from Golurk, that could be revealed tomorrow in my mind, is Mega Golisopod. Mega Golisopod is an absolute unit, and I'm very excited to see this Pokemon get its Mega Evolution. In fact, this is the Pokemon I'm most excited for going into the Mega Dimension DLC. Golisopod is a Pokemon that initially I didn't really like too much, and then playing through Sun and Moon, it was obviously the focus of Guzma's team, and it grew on me quite a bit. And then I've used it in some fan-made games where its effect gets a little bit better, and it's actually been one of my favorite dudes because it's really bulky, hits really hard, and it's ultimately just a really cool Pokemon. If they ever were to change its ability, I think this thing could be really, really fun. I think they just need to make it so, you know, one thing I've seen fan-made games do is like it allows it to switch out if you use a bug type move, or if, you know, instead of having it switch out on 50% HP. So I think there's some really interesting implications there. Magearna, randomly the mythical Pokemon Magearna getting a Mega Evolution. This one I'm not super excited for, if I'm being honest, because I've always told you guys I'm not a big legendary mythical fan outside of maybe Victini, but Magearna is going to get some sort of impact here. I'm curious if it has some sort of ties to the story in the DLC, because this feels like the kind of Pokemon that I could see them tying into storylines. Then you've got Scovillain, the Pepper Pokemon. This one I think actually has a lot of potential to be really cool. I'm curious if they add a third head to it or if they add something else to it. But ultimately, Scovillain looking to be pretty powerful. This is a Pokemon that benefits pretty well in the sun, has some cool, unique moves. But ultimately, I'm really curious what they do with its Mega. Are they just going to make it a bigger Pepper? I don't know what they're going to do with that. Then you've got Glamora, of course, the Toxic Spike Setter. This getting a Mega is very interesting. I'm curious what they're going to do, but my guess is they're going to open up that flower and it's going to bloom even bigger. I really don't think it's going to stay closed like it does in its normal sprite. I think they're going to open that thing up and it's going to be very epic in that regard. And then last but not least is Tatsugiri. Tatsugiri getting a Mega Evolution. This one's really interesting. Seems like a big focus potentially on Dragon types for this DLC in terms of them getting Mega Evolution. Tatsugiri has a really unique relationship with the Donzo, so I'm curious to see what they end up doing with that, because obviously I think taking away its pair from Donzo is a little weird, but maybe they just like kind of fuse the two ideas together. We've seen a lot of these Mega Evolutions so far ultimately take inspiration from their pre-evolutions or kind of things adjacent to them, so I think that that's very likely as well, that Tatsugiri has some sort of inspiration from Donzo in its final design. So a lot of really cool Megas that they could potentially reveal tomorrow. I'm putting my guess on potentially either Golurk, or I could see them going with Golisopod, only because I'm really hoping it's Golisopod because I want to see it. I don't actually think they're going to show Golisopod, but those are my two guesses. I think the curveball that they could throw is by showing a Mega of a previous Pokemon that already has a Mega. That would be the big curveball, because that would be the biggest shock factor, but they might save that for the reveal before the DLC actually comes out. The final reveal of the 3, that would be the biggest shock factor. Oh my god, Absol gets a new Mega, or oh my god, Garchomp gets a different Mega, or oh my god, you know, Lucario has a different Mega. I can see Lucario actually being the one they do, just because of its importance in the story and how relevant it's been as a Mega Evolution over the generations, because it was like the first Mega that really had a highlight in X and Y. It's the one that Karina gives you. It's the one that you kind of learn about Mega Evolution with in the first place. So I could see that being a big focus for them. But ultimately, I'm curious what you guys think. Which of these Mega Evolutions do you think that they are going to reveal tomorrow? And make sure you guys stay tuned, because I will be covering it right here. So don't you miss out on the Mega Dimension DLC update. A brand new trailer featuring a brand new Mega Evolution. Who will it be? We're going to find out tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching this one. Like the video, subscribe if you guys are new, and let me know in the comments which one of these Megas you want to see revealed tomorrow. I'll see you guys then.